Prarambam karotu, Mahodaya.
Yes. Vakratunde Mahakaya Suryakote Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru me Devo Sarvakareshu Susarvada. Saraswati Namastubham Varade Kamini Rup Varade Kamurupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu me Sada. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru
Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha.
Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Vire Karabhavahai Tejashi Navadhimastu Ma Vidhishabhai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Bahu samyak. Bahu samyak. You can pay some attention every day a little bit because these are prayers. So
Yeah.
you'll be able to, get this like Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Bha is Mahaprana, Saha Viryam, Viryam, Va, Ikara, Rakara, and Ya and Viryam Karavavahai. Okay. So small things. Just your Siddhir Bhavatu me. Here Sahana Vavatu. It's not Sahana Bhavatu. Normal. It's a common mistake. Sahana Vavatu, we say. I mean, we say Sahana Bhavatu. It's not Bhavatu. It's Sahana Vavatu.
Sahana Bhavatu.
Okay. There is no Bha there. It is Va.
That is Sahana Bhavatu.
No, not Sahana Vavatu.
Oh, yeah, Bhavatu.
Sahana Vavatu.
Bhavatu.
Vavatu. Sahanau Punaktu. Yeah. It is Sahana Vavatu. It's not Sahana Bhavatu. Okay.
Okay.
Astu. We will stop sharing. So a very happy Navaratri to all of you. Navaratri Parvasya Shubhashayaha. So apart from class, we need to know certain things like Sanskritam is a very refined language and we are all learning because we want to be more refined in our words, thoughts, deeds. So it's very important to know like why we celebrate festivals also. It's a part of our study. So we shall share few points regarding festivals because it's something which has been given to us by our ancestors. Without thinking about it, we just celebrate because we like festivals since childhood. We associate festivals to happiness, people, food, clothes, and to extend it, if you take it in the Western countries, it is drinks, so many other things. Our culture doesn't believe in it, but there are so many other things associated with it. So people like festivals, right? And as kids, we like because the house is full of people. We are visiting somebody or somebody is visiting us. So it is full of joy. That is why we like festivals. But can you tell me, what is this Parva? Parva means what? You have heard of Parva. I just said Navaratri Parvasya Shubhashayaha. I told you that. What is this Parva? What is your understanding? You can unmute. What is this Parvasya means? Parva means?
Parva is a festival.
It's a festival. It's a festival. And what are the characteristics of this Parva? It's a part of, a period of time where we are celebrating. And what are the characteristics? It has to, they say it has to give you poshanam, nourishment, poshanam. It has to give Ishvara Chintanam. You have to keep thinking about the Lord during the festivals. And there are various things which we have to keep in mind when we are celebrating festivals. When a festival is celebrated, if from the scriptures, if you take the reference, we should have Shama. Shama means? What is Shama?
Forgive.
Shama, forgiveness, having the tolerance, forgiveness, that is Shama. Shama, then Satyam. The situation you have to create in order to celebrate a festival is all this. We have forgotten. We don't pay emphasis to, we don't pay attention to these things. Shama, Satyam. Satyam means?
Truthfulness.
Truthful to not only others, to yourself. Knowing why you celebrate also is being truthful, right? Without understanding what you are doing, just celebrating is not being truthful to yourself. So being truthful, why you are celebrating this, knowing, you should know exactly why you are celebrating a festival. So Shama, Satyam, then Danam. Danam, Daya, two Ds, Daya and Danam. You have to have compassion, because during festivals we give. If you see in the culture, we somehow make an opportunity. It is embedded in the culture to give, because you have no right to celebrate and enjoy everything what nature has provided. It is very important to give. So Danam, Daya, compassion. Out of compassion comes Danam. With Daya, naturally, when you are happy and when you have that feeling of compassion, you feel like giving, sharing with others. So that is why we give it to others during the festivals. This Danam is a part of our, festival, our culture. Then we have Indriya Nigraha. Most of us have forgotten this. It's a part of celebration. What is Indriya Nigraha? Can somebody tell me? What is Indriya Nigraha? What is Indriya Nigraha? What is Indriya?
Control of senses.
Mastery over sense organs. How many of us remember this when we are celebrating? Indriya Nigraha, we think festival is a clean, we get license to celebrate and abuse our bodies, abuse the surroundings. Indriya Nigraha is a very important part of celebration. And that is why in our culture, if you see Navaratri, there will be certain kind of dishes, prepared on certain days to take care of the requirement of the body. We don't make whatever dishes we feel like. The elders have given us a set of dishes, what we are supposed to make an offer to Devi, because keeping in mind the nourishment when you're doing puja, when you're doing prarthana, you need a certain kind of food to keep you mind mentally, physically calm, so that you can do puja. Because food has an influence on the state of mind. That is what our culture believes. So Ayurveda comes into it. Like mostly in Navaratri, we say Devi likes food made of jaggery. You have all heard of it? She likes jaggery. She likes chana dal. Now we have something called chana dal. So we make something out of jaggery and chana dal. And we add little coconut to it. and make it flavored with cardamom. So Devi likes it. We say Devi likes it because that's been given to us by our elders. And it is supposed to be the most nourishing food. Soon after rains, during winter, winter is about to start. So our culture has put all the things so beautifully to make sure that the man doesn't suffer, and he follows this one after the other, and he is comfortable when he is celebrating. Festivals are important for nourishment. I told you that. And people get lost in their work, which is happening now. It would have happened before also, because human beings are very machined to get lost. We are designed that way to get lost. So for us, puja, prarthana, bhakti, we have to execute our free will, think to understand why we should do this. It doesn't come naturally to us. We have to we have to practice this. So nourishment was a part of our culture. That is why we have a set of food, sweet dishes, what we prepare during Navaratri, and we offer it to Devi, it becomes more auspicious. You offer it to Krishna, food becomes prasadam. And when you partake that prasad, whatever has been offered to Krishna, then you get, Krishna means purity. You are imbibing the quality of purity, you are imbibing the quality of daya, you are imbibing the quality of dhanam, kshama, satyam, everything. So that is why Indriya Nigraha is a very, very important part. It's not, I am sorry to say this, but we are just copying whatever is happening in the West without knowing what festival is. Eat, drink, and marry, and then sleep. That is not the concept of festival for us. For us, festival has to regenerate us inside out. We have to become something which we have a side of us which we don't like. So we have to take out that side. We have to work on that side. That is why festival is very important. So, Shama, Satyam, Daya, Danam, Indriya Nigraha, Puja. It was a part of our culture. We sit and do puja. We give some time to God. We sit and do some archana, puja, seva to God. Very important. It's very, very important. Okay. And next is yajna. Yajna means offering into fire. Anything you offer into fire, you don't get that back. You don't get that back. So all our things, what we feel is not conducive for us, also has to be offered into the fire. Like if we have a glimpse of, if we introspect on ourselves and some things which we are not very happy with, for example, anger, it's time to mentally offer it in the fire of yajna. That is why externally to show that offering, and it seems in the scriptures it says fire is the medium to take it to the gods. That is why fire has the capacity. Just like everything, every object has some purpose. In creation, fire's role is to take the offerings of human beings to that plane where it reaches the gods. That is why it used to be, all things used to be offered into the fire. And what is the mantra used? Idam na mama. It is not mine. Once I have offered, it's not mine. That means I don't expect the result also out of it. Phalam api na. I have offered what I want, what I feel I have offered into the fire, and I don't expect any phalam out of it. It is like I'm becoming a contributor. All these days I was a consumer. I'm constantly taking things from external world. What God has given. I have not thought how much I need to take. Now it is time to contribute. So I contribute, and it just bhasma means nothing comes out of it. Every time when I contribute, my mind is what I get out of it. What I get out of it. But yajna is symbolically telling us, you don't get what you are contributing, don't expect. You have already taken enough and you're taking still. So even a dhanam you do, even a kind words, compassion should not be out of what I get from this. It should come naturally. It should come naturally. And for that, we have to train ourselves. It doesn't come naturally to us because thousands of janmas we must have been animals. We must have, Krishna says, you have taken thousands of janmas as worms, as carnivores, as herbivores. All the samskaras are there in us. So it is very difficult to erase the memory of all those things and become noble. It's very difficult. That is why an element of buddhi has been given to execute the free will in the right direction of dharma. So what things pratikulat atmani, what things we should not do, what we don't like to be done on ourselves, we should not do that, inflict it upon others. That is dharma. That is dharma. So this free will has been given to us to understand things, and festival is the time we have to brush up on all these things. It is not eat, drink, marry and sleep. So that is why Navaratri becomes very, very important. Navaratri is so important. There is not a single being in India who doesn't celebrate Navaratri. You take kings, for kings it is the most important celebration. You take brahmanas, for them offerings, they offer for the benefit of the society. If they are not doing, they should be doing it. Brahmanas are meant to pray for the society. If they are not doing, they should be doing it. I mean, Brahmanas in the sense, Jati Brahmanas, or the person who has an inclination towards Sattva Guna. He should be praying for, don't have to be born in a Brahmana family for that. Brahmana, according to Krishna, is a Guna Brahmana. You are Sattvic, you want to learn a refined language. That means you are a Sattvic person. You want to learn something which is refined to make yourself refine yourself. So in that case, all of us have to pray for others. We are all in a way Brahmanas. We have to pray for others. During festivals, it is very important because that gives energy. There's no God for us in our culture. Everything, there is only God. There's nothing apart from God. The law which is put in place is God. So God is helpless when we create some nonsense and then we are inflicting pain upon each other and each other. You might ask a question like, why are people killed in large numbers? It is such a horrific thing to see. But God is also helpless because he said, I gave you free will and you people are killing each other. He knows things how to put in order, but he can't change your free will because he says, I am sitting within you. You are not looking at me and you are using your free will for all nonsense. So he is also pained. He is helpless. For us, God is all pervasive. All pervasive. He is sitting in and out. So for us, puja, that is the reason scriptures give us the refining techniques. Puja, yajna, dana, kshama, satya, dharma, all these things. And finally, it comes to santosha. When you're doing all this, automatically you are fulfilled. You are happy within yourself. Nobody needs to give you something. We don't need much. 2 meals is enough. Even 1 meal is enough to survive. We don't need much. This santosha, contentment comes out of following dharma. Doing the right things at the right time. That is why the next thing is santosha. Puja is over, havan is over, yajna is over. Then comes santosha. Then finally, asteya. When you're very happy or when you're very sad, you tend to make multiple mistakes. The free will is taken for a ride. When you're very happy, fulfilled, contented, you want to hold on to that happiness and you start thinking it's because of some situation, because of some objects in my life, because of some people in my life. Unfortunately, we don't realize it's our nature. It is shining through. Objects per se don't have happiness in them. People per se cannot make us happy. It is our own happiness reflecting when we come in contact with certain lights, and our own sorrows reflecting when we look for happiness and we are not happy because we have come in contact with an object which we don't like. So we are not satisfied. So final point is asteya. When we keep looking for happiness, we want more, we end up making mistakes. And steya is to steal. What doesn't belong to us, we start snatching it from others, thinking this will give me happiness. Why do you think a thief steals? Thief steals because he thinks that is not secured. He is not happy, following the path of dharma. That is difficult. Let me steal and grab it from others. Because his value of not stealing is not there for him. He doesn't know the value of a value. He doesn't know the value of value. So easy happiness. I want to be happy, and this is the easy way to be happy. It doesn't matter. But even a thief doesn't want to be stolen. That he knows. Universal values are universal because none of us want certain things to happen in our lives. It is universal. Even a thief, it seems two of them stole a nice, good treasure and they went to a forest. And one thief tells, okay, I'm hungry now. I want to go and get some food from the nearby village. You sit here, and he places all the treasure, goes to the nearby village. He gets food. By that time, this person has just ran away with the treasure, other one. He gets very angry. How can this fellow steal my property? But he didn't think that he has stolen somebody else's property and he has come there. So it's a natural phenomenon for each one of us not to be cheated. We don't want to be cheated. It's natural in us, but we don't think when it comes to executing it with others. We don't want to be hurt. We have a natural instinct. Eyes are made in such a way, something comes close by, eyes close. I was observing, I was just meditating the other day and I was sitting on a chair. Usually I sit on the floor. That day I was sitting on the chair and I was closing my eyes. I just went into meditation. I was sitting there. Suddenly, I think there was a minute when you have that, you just get lost, and I just got lost, disconnected, and the body was about to just go down, and there's a kind of, a kind of sensation throughout the body to prevent it from fall. Who is giving that? Who is giving that natural tendency? You didn't put any effort to sit there straight without falling. Natural tendency of the body, it wants to protect itself from any kind of injury. Who is giving it? Did we make an effort to get it? It is natural. All of us wants. This body wants to be preserved. It wants to be preserved. It wants to be protected. It wants, you see, a smallest worm. It wants to be protected. It doesn't want to be killed. That is why ahimsa. Ahimsa paramo dharmaha. None of these animals want to be killed. That is why, as much as possible, the culture promotes ahimsa also. Because none of them want to be killed, and we don't have right to kill others. When none of them want to be killed, you also don't want to be killed. What right do we have to kill others? We don't. It's like the thief saying that, how can somebody hurt me? when he has hurt somebody. So this is a law which is put in place. It's a law. It's a complete, perfect structure put in place. And what about animals? Killing one another, eating. They are that triangle, that food chain, which God has automatically created in such a way that they are programmed that their food, even a lion who is full stomach, you go and sit in front of the lion will not hurt you. Only thing is, we don't know whether he is full stomach or half. Okay, that's why we don't want to go and sit in front of the lion. If the stomach is full, the lion will not hurt. It's not like that for a man. The minute man sees something, he wants to grab, and he thinks of rainy season, he thinks of winter, he thinks of, all these things. Animals don't have that tendency of grabbing and keeping it. Very less. They just keep it in mind with respect to it. Has been tuned in them. Like if you see ants, they carry one sugar in their back and they go in a line, and keep it inside for rainy season. And whatever is accumulated, that's it. They don't grab extra. That's the way they have been programmed. That is why they don't have free will. Animals don't have free will. That is why when you walk a dog and the dog does something, they don't drag the dog to the court. They drag the person who owns the dog to the court. If a dog bites a child on the road, here you'll see very common, like in India, we have street dogs. So when a dog bites a child, it is like people don't get angry on the dog. They make sure that the children are safeguarded. We don't get angry on animals when they attack because we all know they are animals. That is why they are animals. But when a man attacks, we get angry because why is he not executing his free will, which has been given to him? He has a choice. He can live in peace. I don't have the right to take the lives of others. He can live in peace, right? Let live and live. And how much do we need? How much space do we need to live? Very less. How much food we need? Very less. But the tendency to grab is inbuilt because we are insecure. We are insecure. So the law which has been put in, already set in nature, is Ishvara. For us, that is Ishvara. So all festivals has to line with these points. Otherwise, there's no point in celebrating a festival. So this Navaratri is about Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Durga. As I told you, there is Tamasi Shakti, there is Rajasi Shakti, and there is Sattvic Shaktis. But here the order is, first 3 days is Lakshmi, because desire to ask is there in us, and that desire has to be refined and it has to be non-binding in lines of, when will you know the desire is non-binding? We will know desire is non-binding when it is in the line of dharma. So the scripture doesn't say you should not enjoy. Scripture doesn't say you should not have a comfortable life. That is the beauty of this dharma. You can have a very comfortable life. Make sure that you follow the lines of dharma. Dharma. Dharma, what is the definition? What should not be inflicted upon you. You should not do the same thing to others. Very simple. Very simple. You don't want to be cheated, don't cheat others. And why is it like that? Because it's very clearly saying, Evam pravartitam chakram. Everything is coming back to you. Karma chakra of karma is there. Wheel of karma is there. For us, dharma and karma are like two sides of a coin. Dharma is there, action is there, going on hand in hand. So when karma and dharma goes together, it becomes karma yoga. What Krishna is talking about karma yoga in the scriptures is, dharma and karma are going hand in hand. together. I am doing just what is right for me to be happy without inflicting pain on others. What has to be done, Vihita karma, is done by keeping the order in mind, Ishvara in mind. It's not like I am doing, or Ishvara is kept in mind, the Lord is kept in mind, and I'm offering everything, whatever comes out of it, to Ishvara as a I take it as a prasadam, whatever comes to me, and whatever I am doing, I offer it, Sharanagati, in the feet of the Lord. This is what, because we cannot cognize something which is all pervasive, we give names what we like as Krishna, Devi, and we get all the attributes of that greatness, Ishvara, into that one person. It is not like if a person is restricted to one form, then he cannot be anything else around you. He doesn't have control on anything else because you are limiting that person to a name and a form. But actually for us, we cannot cognize something which is all pervasive. If I say everything, in everything God is present, it's not possible because we are not in that state of accepting everything as God. So we get Krishna first, or we get Devi, we get Shiva, and it's all the same. It's all the same, because if you again bring difference between Krishna and Shiva, they are limiting each other. Krishna is capable of this much, Shiva is capable of this much. And what Shiva is capable of, Krishna is not capable of. All these finite things come into the picture. Because time, space limits. It limits. If somebody is a creator of time and space, he cannot be bound in a body. So it has to be all pervasive. Everything. So it has to be all knowing. It has to be all knowing. It has to be all pervasive. It has to be Shaktiman, all powerful also. Otherwise, you can't accept God as very limited strength, limited powers. Then you don't, how can you call that person as a God? So that is why we can't get some picture, idea of all pervasiveness, Sarva Shaktiman, Sarva Vyapti, Vyapakatvam is there in Ishvara, everywhere, all pervasive. That means there is no concept of time and space in Ishvara. It's not limited to time and space. And since we cannot cognize this, we bring what we like if a person is inclined towards compassion, Vatsalya Bhava, he likes that small Krishna eating butter. He likes that small Krishna in the hands of his mother. Yet very powerful, showing the entire universe in his mouth. See, we like that Krishna because it is nice to connect to that Krishna, because that person's temperament aligns with that God. Like I like that kind of Vatsalya Bhava. If you want something with strength, you look for Hanuman because you're looking for strength. Or you look for Krishna with Govardhanadhari. He's lifting his mountain with the finger, little finger. So like that, the beauty of the culture is it's been given like you are looking for a Shakti, who is the mother of all the gods. His mother per se is for us to think of a feminine and a male energy is here for us to cognize. But Ishvara is genderless. It cannot be limited to genders. So the feminine form of it is Shakti. We cannot cognize. So we will bring one Devi there with a flower, with a mala, with a japamala, 9 different forms, 9 attributes. So that is why Navaratri. That is why it is Navaratri, 9 attributes. And the first 3 is desire. We desire. And there's nothing wrong in desire. Shakti is desire. Ichcha rupena samstita. Ya Devi sarva bhuteshu ichcha rupena samstita. She is the one who desires, who creates that desire in us. In line with dharma. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the desire which is in line with dharma. in you. So that is Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Icharupena Samsthita. And that is the first 3 days of Lakshmi Puja which happens. Like, give me the sense and the buddhi to understand what is the right desire. That also we need. Some desires, what we think may not be good for us. We don't have, with our limited understanding, to understand what is good for us. We think somebody is having something that is good for me. No. Each one of us cannot be what somebody we think of as something great. No. We have our own capacity, and only that all-pervasive Ishvara Shakti can understand what is good for me. Like, that is why we say, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matra Rupena Samstita. She is the mother. And mother knows what is good for the child. So that is why we invoke Matra Rupena Samstita. Namastasye, 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 Namo Namaha. We say, oh Matra Rupena Samstita, the one who is present in all of us as that mother, who makes a child, satisfied with the milk of the mother when the child is born. Who is creating that? It's automatic. It just comes. She is that mother sitting within to give that child the nourishment when the child is born. Nobody has designed. A man cannot think of it. Forget it. He can go to the moon or he can go to hundreds planets and discover. He cannot think of getting milk into a mother when the child is born. You just can't do that. The nature prepares the mother, and she is ready the minute the child is born. Who is doing this? It's the mother, Matra Rupena Samstita, who is sitting within each one of us. When the child is born, the Vatsalya, the compassion towards the child, till that date, no compassion was there. The minute it's born, it's the father showing compassion, mother showing compassion. It comes so naturally. Who is doing that? The Matra Rupena. If it is not doing such things, there are exceptions. That means something else is playing inside. Bhranti Rupena Samstita. Bhranti is what? Delusion. She is sitting within because of your karmas not to get that compassion on the child. And the karma of the child and the karma of the parent is playing there. So she is the one who is creating delusion also. Bhranti Rupena Samstita. She is the one who is sitting, and Tushti Rupena, she is nourishing. You eat some food, 2 people are there, same food eaten. One is nourished, the other one is not nourished at all. Why? It should have nourished both the peoples. It's not nourishing. Why? Because she is the one who is sitting within, and according to our karmas, it is fructifying. The phala and the karma, the phala, everything is according to an order. So that is why it is important to pray, because each time you pray, you are creating plus points. You are adding points to your account. Whatever has been done, we cannot change. Something unconscious action has led to some result effect. Today's conscious actions can change something which is going to happen in future. And you have the capacity, because all these Matra Rupena, Buddhi Rupena, Shakti Rupena, Vishnu Mayeti Shabdita, all this is sitting within us, and we have the capacity to change certain things also through our prayers and deeds. That is why festival is very important, to keep this in mind, to pray. And today, many people don't even know the importance of it. They sleep till 10. They think children have holidays and we can sleep till 10, 10:30. And we can get up. Sleep is tamas. Sleep is important, but it is tamas. You're not even praying. You're not teaching the child. You're depriving the child of something which is very, very important. Only human beings have the power to do this. To change certain things, subtle changes can be brought about. If subtle changes are not brought about, the minds of human beings will not function properly. There is no somebody sitting there and doing a magic wand, like a magician to set right things in this world. It's been given to individuals. We have the power, capacity of changing certain things through prayers and goodwill. So if you change the way, each one of us change the way we think during festivals, there can be a very large change in the society. Certain things think in a demonic way. The thought processes, they might be inherently very good people, but that moment of time, that thought process doesn't come because of their past karmas. So something has been inflicted upon me and I carry that kind of bitterness and I want to retaliate. You are constantly seeing this. You're constantly seeing this happening in the world. I want to give it back. And then again, the other person comes and gives it back. Again, this. When will this stop? This will stop only when we recognize this Ishvara. There is something in this world where there can be brought about balance with our own effort. We have to start praying. The prayers have to increase. The subtle minds which are working behind it will get the energy to stop these kind of wrong thinking. Everything is originating from wrong thinking. It is from me, mine, me, mine, me, mine, me, mine. We have to get this rid. We have to get rid of this. That is why festival becomes very important. You are encouraging tamas. Each one of us are encouraging tamas. The minute we say festival and holiday, we want to sleep. And children are also getting that. The children have to wake up early. They have to be inculcated into the habit of prayers. Mantras, shlokas, that is the time the mind gets into nice sattvic, calm state where they are thinking that we should pray for others and ourselves. Those children will never contribute to violence later in life. They will only think of well-being of the society. Just imagine if each one of us do this very responsibly, you will create a better environment. These things will always be there. Asuras will always be there because they are there in each one of us. When the situation arises, these things comes up. In order to make sure these things are not allowed to come up from within, we should dedicate our lives for prayer. We should keep a little bit of time every day. Actually speaking, every minute, every second, the background should be just like how the mother, whatever she is doing, her background is always thinking about the child because she is always cautious what the child is doing. She's cautious, but she's doing 100 things. Similarly, the background should always be Ishvara, and you should do 1,000 things in this world. Always holding on to that Ishvara and do 1,000 things in this world. That is the best way. This is taught through festivals. That is why we should never allow the festivals to die down. It will just completely eradicate a culture, and which is not good. The minute you stop praying, you will do something which is not good. That time is utilized for something else. And that something else, 99.9% will be against yourself, your growth, and others. The time you take for prayers, the time you take for, like Parmanand Mahodaya has written a beautiful song in the name of Krishna. He had sent it to me so nicely, beautifully. He has sang that. We'll ask him to sing that today. So it's so beautiful. And you just imagine, you took some time out to write about it, think about it. If you wouldn't have done that, what would each one of us do when we are not doing that? Either we are scrolling the mobile and we are looking at things again and again. We want to look at the wars. We know war is happening, but we are looking at all the violence which is happening. We are creating that kind of, bitterness inside. Or we are just messaging, and nowadays reels. It just so addicts people. They are one after the other, or something which is nonsense. I mean, when you are not doing something creative which is good for you, you are obviously doing which is not good for you. No, and most of us in India, we are spending time, most of the people, if you see, they are spending time on media, looking at stories happening in somebody's lives, and connecting it to their day-to-day lives, and say, oh, somebody was like this in that one of the serials, and so this person also is behaving. See, all kinds of disputes, all kinds of conflicts. So you're only encouraging those things. That is why we have to help children to be very, very conscious about these festivals, why they are celebrated, what are the important. And the Navaratri is the time when it is very, very conducive, because it is the Sharat Kala, soon after the rainy season. So if you see the water, if you go to places, it will be crystal clear. Every tree, every plant is all cleaned with all rain. It's all fresh. Sky is so fresh. So similarly, your inner Chidakasha has to be fresh, means you have to work towards making all these qualities, which is within us, to remember it and to work with it. It is like when you look at the environment after a rain, all the dust is gone, the leaves are fresh, the water is fresh, the flowers, the lotus is beautifully blooming on water. You see, look at the water, there is all the slush has settled down. There is it has flown nicely after the rains. Water bodies are so crystal clear. It's a similar kind of environment you have to get within ourselves also. Sharat Kala, Navaratri. That is why some people do fasting, because to take out that toxins of unwanted eating, what we have done before to our bodies, a systematic, disciplined life. So it is not meant to sleep extra because holidays are there, to eat extra, to marry. It is not meant for that. It is meant to discipline ourselves and bring that prayerful life into our, routine. That is what Navaratri is. So this is important. And one more thing I had circulated about a poster where Jaikumar ji is going to address people who have, if you look at the poster, I'll just bring it up. I think it's on my WhatsApp. Just give me a second. You all got that poster? Did you all get that? It was there in the Sasyam group. That's a course which is going to, it's not a course, it's kind of an interactive session which is going to be held by Jaikumar ji. One second, just give me a second. Just I thought we circulated it.
We have received it.
You have received it? What does it
Yeah.
say? Can you read it out, Bhagini?
It was on Monday, October 9th. This post was sent.
Can you read it
It
out? What
says,
is it?
can life be more fulfilling? What is
Hmm.
the purpose of life? Is
Hmm.
a conflict-free life possible? Are there enduring values that improve quality of our life? Is
Hmm.
happiness reliant on meeting all our desires?
Hmm.
Does religion help or hinder this search?
Hmm.
Am I who I think I am? This
Hmm.
is a monthly 1.5 hour question and answer program, which starts from 22nd, 23rd onwards.
Yeah.
Every fourth week of the month, it's at Sunday, 6:30 a.m. IST and Saturday 9 p.m. EST. It's
Yeah.
by Acharya Dr. Jaikumar, among Amangudi.
Yeah. So why I wanted to raise this in the class is many of us, we know the importance, but we somewhere the links are not joining. Like what is God? Why should we, is religion important? Why should we lead a religious life? What is fulfilling? If I don't hold on to religion, is it okay for me? Is it okay to lead a dharmic life without being inclined to any religion? You know, all these things we keep everyday basis. Should we teach something about religion to our kids at all? Is it really required? Because looking at all the conflicts around, is it really required to bring up a child with a background of a religion? All these questions pop up to parents, to students, to, so you will see a lot of people saying that I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. Very common. But then for us, our concept is different. So all these things, nobody is going to force you into any religion. Any questions under the sun with respect to these things, you can ask and have an interactive session. You can ask, you might get answers, you may not get, that's okay. But thing is, like, you need a forum to discuss these things. So for that, Jayakumar ji is taking out his time, and he has done a lot of such programs. He is not going to force anything on anybody. So you can actually take up this once in 4 weeks, is not at all a big time. Please enroll. Pooja Bhagini, can you resend it in the group, in our group and Sasyam group? Just forward it.
Okay.
Why I am telling you is, it's going to be very useful because you will have all kinds of doubts. It's very, very important to clear the doubts, because knowledge is what we are looking for. Each one of us, our purpose of life is knowledge. Either it is external knowledge, and ultimately we want to gain that knowledge, knowing which we are fulfilled. We feel, okay, now I am satisfied. So for that, you need to find the right kind of people. And Jayakumar ji has a very good background, which can actually withstand these kind of questions and give you a very convincing, answer, which comes out of his experience and interaction with the people around. And he has a good lineage which he follows, Swami Dayananda Saraswati's lineage. So we can be safely asking him questions, and you will get, I'm very sure you'll get the very, very, convincing answers and a direction to our life. It is very important. So you can encourage people around you to join this course. It is just free. It is a free course where a person is just spending that kind of, he's so busy, he's doing for Ministry of Culture, something India. They have given him some responsibilities, very busy. In spite of that, he's taking out time. So I think it's very important to spread this word. Whoever you will see, people around you, youngsters around you, say like, all this is all crap, religion is crap, there is a lot of violence happening in the name of religion, all these things, escapism, because we don't know what religion is, we don't know what things are happening around us, why it is happening. So we have a lot of questions. So you want some answers, and a discussion forum is important. You need like-minded people to discuss and debate on this. So for this, he is providing that kind of forum to discuss and debate. So it's important to spread this word to people and let them all join. And if it is good, let them continue. If it is helping them, I'm sure it will help them. Otherwise, they have a choice. We all have a free will, right, to drop out. So please, spread the word. That is something which I wanted to share. So do you have any questions on what we discussed now? Do you think it was important to discuss this in the first place?
Very important.
Very important. Why do you think it's important, Ritesh Mahodaya?
Yeah, we have been celebrating festivals like as you said, to please ourselves. mostly to look for opportunity to indulge in our fulfilling, satiating our senses. That's what we have been doing all our life. And although each one of us might have some idea and we do worship, but that we don't inculcate those values in our life, and it does not reflect in our actions for sure. So as you rightly said, this might give us an opportunity to transform within ourselves, and if that's a change we can bring out, that's the I think real uh, meaning of celebrating the festival. Otherwise, eat, merry, drink, as you said.
Exactly. You got the point. So that is why we celebrate festivals, to make ourselves a better version of ourselves. Because why? Because every God is inside us. There's no God outside us. There's not, and every devil also is sitting within us only. There is no devil outside us. Okay. So that is why Mahishasura Mardini, she is called. And if she is the creator, can there be a creation without her? So where did this Asura come up from? These are things to be thought about, right? If she is the one who is Shakti, who is creating everything, how did Mahishasura come up then? She only must have created that. So there is no person who is sitting there and creating. She is within all of us, and the free will also is her only. When she has given us free will and everything is within us, we have the free will. With ignorance, we create these Mahishasuras, we create this Rakta Bijas, we create this Shumba Nishumbas. We are capable of, that means she has given us the status of creating also. So if you have a choice to create a Rakta Bija or a Shumba Nishumba or a Mahishasura, you have a power to create a Krishna also. You have a power to create a Rama within you. You have a power to create a Devi within you. That is why Ramayana is important. You are brushing upon those qualities which is within you. When you read Ramayana, Dharma which is within us is brushed upon. We start becoming that embodiment of Dharma. That is why scriptures are scriptures, because Dharma, embodiment of Dharma is Rama. That is why every house used to have Ramayana Parayanam every day. Because the quality of Dharma is shining forth. When Dharma is shining forth, you want to be with that person. You don't have to look for people around you. Everybody will flock around you because you are an embodiment of Dharma. Who would not want to be around a person who is not dharmic? You will attract power, you will attract fame, you will attract name when you are an embodiment of Dharma. When you are talking about Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, you become that. You attract everything. Krishna in the middle of the battlefield, he was picnic. He was like as though he was in a picnic. Because everything is so clear to him. Wisdom is shining forth. When you are reading Bhagavad Gita, wisdom will shine forth. You will not suffer. And who is suffering? It is you yourself. Who is creating the suffering? You yourself. You yourself are creating a suffering. This is what we have to realize. We have the power. Power has been given to us. And the power has to be passed on to generations also. We should pass it on to people around us. We should pass it on to children, especially they are growing up. You don't want to them to grow in an environment where there are all Rakta Bijas, Shumba Nishumbas wanting to drink the blood of another person. So each one of us with our free will have a responsibility to bring up that kind of environment. We can't say like, I am happy in my home, eating, drinking and marrying. I don't care. We can't be like that. So what little possible, try to just pass it on to others. Let them also be in this true happiness. not the happiness what comes and goes with money, what the happiness comes and goes, which is kshanika. Those kinds of happiness will not sustain. That is the reason every culture, when they are celebrating, had the thing of fasting. For us, it was put in our system. One Ekadashi, we do the fasting. It is there in the system because eating is not you. Eating is just to survive. There are so many inner things which shine forth when you just keep this Indriya Nigraha. When you just keep this fasting, you are actually thinking of Krishna and saying that today I want to spend my time on Krishna, not about thinking about food and fear and ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. We are not thinking about those 4 instincts, which are animal instincts, which is required for us to be in this world, but let it be there. Today, let me think only about Krishna, be Shiva, Monday fast. What happens actually? Higher possibilities open up. Your true nature of dharma, compassion opens up. You are going to another level of subtlety. And when you're doing that, automatically you don't have to put an effort. People will come to you looking for you, because the words which come out of your mouth will be so pleasing, because you have done that tapas. That tapas you have done. So that is the reason. Always there will be good and bad. Mahisharusuras will always be there. Raktabijas will always be there. You cannot eradicate them completely, because creation doesn't work. Because karmas, the creation is karma, good and bad. Combination of good and bad is creation. You cannot eradicate everything once for all, because that is what is holding the creation. Good, bad, because you cannot find at one particular period of time all the people doing only good. It doesn't happen like that. So there is a combination of good and bad. As much as possible, making the things around us more, conducive for the growth of this universe, for happiness, for fulfillment. If we can contribute to it, that's the best thing we can do, and that is the fulfilling life. So recognize that Ishvara within and try to brush upon all the qualities by reading Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, being close to Krishna, being close to all those good qualities what these gods have exhibited, telling it is within you. Every time Krishna is saying, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. I am in everything. Mani sutra ganaiva, like a thread. I am just binding all of you like a thread. I am there in all of you. Means nothing can be outside. You have been given a free will, choose and right action is required. This is festival. Okay. So this is something which is very, very important to understand. And how do you connect it to Sanskritam? Your learning of Sanskrit. How do you connect it? Nitesh Mahodaya or Parmanand Mahodaya? How do you connect it with Sanskritam?
The Sanskritam is kind of at the essence of.
Your thoughts come. Okay, tell me.
Saying Sanskritam seems to define, give the basis of where all of this is coming from. So having a proper understanding, like the word dharma, even we don't have a good understanding of what it is, right? We might say dharma or dharma, and one means upholding righteousness, and other means destruction, right? So just even having a proper understanding of Sanskritam keeps us understanding how do we actually apply what we're learning in practical application.
Yes. Yes, because all the scriptures which have been given to us can be understood clearly. Like the root words, as he said, can be quite opposite. How to use them in the right context, and to understand what this kind of treasure which is there here, every step can refine each one of us, which has been given to us by that Srishti, Karta, Ishvara, is amazing and mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. Even 1.001% of it, if we can actually take out and do a study of it, samsar par, what you're looking for, you will get it. That is the kind of the, Sanatana Dharma we are all born into. That is the kind of Dharma we are born into. It is enough to complete, to make our life fulfilling. To understand that Sanskritam is one of the tools. One of the tools. Second, language is something which a refined language is something we use for communication also, right? Is it not? So, Vak Shakti is a Shakti. You are capable of talking. That capacity is given by Shakti herself. It is divine. And when you use your free will to talk, you can add crap into it, unwanted stuff. When you realize this refinement is Shakti herself, and when you use Sanskritam as a background, then the alignment of words, thought, and deeds, you will see aligning. So a person is cultured. When is he cultured? When do you call a person? Rama is a dharma, cultured person. He is the one who is an Arya Putra. He's a cultured person. Why? Because his thoughts, his speech, and his actions aligned beautifully. Vak, Chintanam, and Karyam. Everything aligned beautifully. So I think in Sanskritam it's called Arjavam. 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 In 13th chapter, Krishna talks about Arjavam. Aligning all the three. If you see a person, he's cultured, means what he speaks, what he thinks, and what he does will be aligned. That is why we call a cultured person is a person where all the three gets aligned. So for that, you need the backup of Shakti, who is sitting deep within. Because the Shakti which is Kriya Shakti, the Shakti which is Ichha Shakti, and the Shakti which is Jnana Shakti, knowledge. This is Vak, Chintanam, and Karyam is Navaratri. In another way of looking at it is these 3 days is to refine your Vak, Chintanam, and Karyam. When you win over all these three things, it is Vijayadashami. So Sanskritam plays a very, very important tool, because that is the way you communicate with others. So you don't have to worry, I am not able to converse and communicate with in Sanskritam, because these ideas which are put into you, and all of us have this, whether a person doesn't know or is not born in this culture, also he will very much agree that the Chintanam, Vak, and the Karyam has to align. He will agree with this. It's a universal value. It's a universal value. So everybody wants that to be that way. So that is what is Navaratri. Winning over this tamas aspect and being able to ask. Lakshmi is to ask, I want wealth. How much? I don't have an end to it. How much? In line with Dharma, because always we have to remember, when we are accumulating something, creation doesn't create something. It's there somewhere and it's been displaced. It's been displaced. So what is required, you should ask. You should not ask for something which is more. If you ask, she will give, because creation, you are God. When you ask something, you will get it with tapas. But are you qualified to hold that? Then it can cause problem to you. Do we have the wisdom how much we have to ask? That is Saraswati. That is why we ask, and then we take the backing up of knowledge, Saraswati. Next 3 days, we pray to her. We say, give us the knowledge to understand what is good for me and what is good for the society around me. That is Saraswati Puja. Okay? So you have to ask Saraswati to give each one of us the wisdom to ask what is required for us. Anything excess is not good for us. Even excess of sugar is diabetic, right? So, very simple example. Excess of eating, indigestion. Thankfully, we know how much the stomach can take, but still we get indigestion. Why? Because we have a capacity, we have an understanding of overfilling ourselves, because we have insecurity. We cannot stop when it is supposed to stop. This quality has to be overcome. Otherwise, we will be in pain. That is why Saraswati backing up is very important. For any desire, it has to be backed by wisdom. I want money. Okay, very good. Have money, comfort in life. That will not give you sukha. Comfort is different. Pleasure is different. Happiness is different. You need comfort to think of God. Without comfort, it's difficult to think about God. Okay, have comfort. Be comfortable. But more comfort will drag you into a different direction. You will not think about God. You will think of something else. So, how much is good for you? How much you can handle? Only that creation knows. What creation? Which is within you, outside. Because this body is just a boundary. Everything inside out is the same. It's the same. And we have the free will to decide what is good for us. And we take the backing of Saraswati, who is sitting within us, the Jnana Devi, in order to give us the power to think what is good for us. And finally, we have Durga, where she triumphs the wisdom and the right kind of whatever pleasures or whatever things, comforts you need in life, backed with the wisdom, is Vijayadashami, is triumph. Because balanced living, it is talking about Samatva. So this, to bring this back into our culture, to keep telling our kids about it, is very important during Navaratri. That is why you will see people celebrating in the form of music, dance, because they dance throughout the night and they enjoy dancing. The tamas, physical body tamas, is going off. You're sitting and working for hours together and you're dancing. You don't have to go to the gym and pay money and do an aerobic activity. You're just doing it. Culture has given you that. Sing in the name of God. Dance in the name of God. Have music in the name of God. Eat as a prasadam, offer to God. Refine yourself. That is Vijayadashami. Okay? And for us, vehicles are God. You can't take vehicles out of God, because if everything is God, vehicles have to be God. Tools in the house has to be God. Because if you don't know how to use the knife properly, you can kill somebody or kill yourself. So wisdom backed by Saraswati. Anything given to you backed by Saraswati. This is Navaratri. So it is important for us to understand why we are learning Sanskritam. We should not miss that, through the means, we should not forget about the goal. These are all means. What is the goal? To make ourselves better, refine ourselves. End of the day. Okay? So that is why Navaratri is very important. So I have something to cover today, but since it is already 7:50 here, I want to listen to Paramanand Mahadaya's song. And Friday, if you're all available in the morning, we'll have a small 1 hour session and finish off Karma Padam. I want to introduce Karma Padam. So Friday morning, maybe 1 hour, we will sit and finish Karma Padam. This is more important, I thought, because refining ourselves is important when you're learning a refined language also, right? Automatically things won't happen. Okay, I'm learning Sanskritam, automatically refining will happen. No. Free will has to be used. You have to recognize it. Nothing happens simply like that. We have to put an effort. And that effort has to be backed by Shakti. We are not putting. She has given us the free will and we are recognizing that. So then only then that ahankara also will come down. I am doing this. I am doing that. That ahankara which comes up all the time, each one of us have that. So that has to be directed in the right direction. It has to be put in the right direction. That is Navaratri. Okay. Any doubts? Very good, Ritesh Mahodaya, Parmanand Mahodaya. I'm glad that you got the essence of it. I'm sure Nayan Mahodaya, you have anything to say?
Yes, I am saying, I want to saying the next Friday, you said one class will be happen.
Yes.
6:30.
6:30.
Okay, ma'am.
I want to take 1 hour session to finish Karma Padam.
Okay, no
A
problem.
new topic on Karma Padam. I want to finish it. Okay. So that is what I'm. Sure. You join. No issues. So anything else you want to share on Navaratri? You are most welcome to share. Anything else? Let us keep it interactive because it's exchanging ideas. Your ideas can be refinement to somebody else.
Actually, what I'm going to say, Mr. Ritesh Raturi said already.
Sorry, Ritesh already said this.
Already said. Yeah.
Yes.
And I want to say another thing. Why I am learning Sanskrit? That is. One upon a time, I think, why the man learning Sanskrit? Nobody speak it. I don't see anybody, two person to talking Sanskrit, each other. And the Brahmins read the mantras and they don't even understand what they say. Then I go to Wikipedia and read about Sanskrit. After reading, I said, what we have done so far. What a rich language it is. Then I desire to learn Sanskrit.
Very good. That means Jnana Shakti in you was very active,
and
leading you in the right.
Another thing, the Israeli people, they just give life the Hebrew language. Only 84 lakh people. We are Hindus 120 crores.
Yes.
Even though we have failed.
We have not failed. There is a good section of people who are still continuing that. Maybe we are in an environment which seems to be failing all around. There are a good set of people who are really working towards it. Otherwise, we all wouldn't have been sitting here and learning a language free if people are trying to encash it. There is still dharma. Without dharma, creation cannot move on. It is the substratum of creation. So unless you will see pockets here and there which adharma is there, but it is not taken over completely. It cannot happen. Creation has its own way of balancing things. We think we are taking over it in our hands. No. Any learning first should be to refine ourselves. One refined person becomes like a diya, gives light to everyone. You don't have to put effort at all. Once you refine yourself, it will just, all those great rishis, they didn't go around preaching. They refined themselves so much that people came to them to get knowledge.
Yes.
They'll flock.
They enlighten our society.
So there's no, you don't have to lose hope.
I don't lose hope.
Ah,
But
So-
sometimes feel we have a country. Though Bangladesh is different, but in India has a country. They have lot of people. There are lot of educated people. But once upon a time, the Yehudi people have no country.
sorry?
Once upon a time, the Yehudi people have no country.
They didn't have country.
They got it, and they give life their language Hebrew.
Yeah, that
And
is true.
There
but,
is a generation. There is a generation, father and mother talking Hebrew language, but there is no generation now created in Sanskrit yet. It is true.
Correct. No, there are villages in India even today where only Sanskrit is spoken.
That's good. I don't know that actually.
Yeah, there is a, you just look up. There is a village in Karnataka where only Sanskritam is spoken.
That is, I know, 12,000 or 15,000 people is there. It is good.
They speak only Sanskritam. They speak only Sanskritam. Here also you will see a lot of South Indian this thing where Samskrita Bharati is doing a very good thing. They are speaking in Sanskritam. They are having Samskrita Shibiras to talk in Sanskritam. You don't know, in another couple of years, probably we all of us would be conversing only in Sanskritam.
And if you go to the...
It's only a matter of time.
If we browse in internet, there is thousands of material on Sanskrit learning.
Correct.
But even if a man will confuse which one he will follow.
The beauty is Nayan Mahodaya. You follow one. It gives the essence of everything.
Yes.
Because everywhere you'll come up saying everything is God. Only God. There's nothing else. You
Yes.
take it in any direction, there is only, it's Ishvara Pradhana, this thing, Shastram. Shastram itself is Ishvara Pradhana. There are certain which like yoga, not yoga, Sankhya, which doesn't believe in, they don't say Ishvara, but we imbibe the teachings of Sankhya also because it is talking about everything, elements of creation, and it is coming up to Purusha and Prakriti. They don't give the name as Ishvara. There are such philosophies also in Indian scriptures. They don't give Ishvara as, they are not Ishvara oriented subjects. But still you will see, you will end up learning that and becoming refined because there is no other way out. You have to recognize that recognition of Ishvara will come automatically when you learn Sankhya also. When you learn yoga also. Yoga, they say it's only physical and all that now. And they used to say Jivatma merges with Paramatma, and that is yoga and all that. Through physical, how can a person realize Jivatma merging? Then they go to pranayama, all these things. But actually speaking, if you ask a person who is practicing yoga very sincerely for 20 years, 21 years, you will see the refinement in the person. Automatically, the person refines. He gets refined. He will get refined. That you guarantee if a person goes to the gym. For 20 years, he goes slow. You know, how much and things they go for asana practices, you'll see for 10 years, then 12 years, 13 years, then you'll see the person, the completely they are getting into vairagya, nothing, I don't want anything now. the culture itself, the scripture and the practices itself is taking them towards Vairagya. So that is why even one thing you follow, it will take you to Vairagya. Enough, what is required in my life, this much is enough. I am not looking for anything more. This kind of thought processes is there in the culture itself. So you don't have to worry. There are 1,000 scriptures. One lifetime is not enough to follow all the scriptures. One scripture, you are able to do it properly, pick that what suits you and then do it. That's enough. That will take you to Viveka Vairagya. That will take you. Yeah, Ritesh Mahodaya.
I just remembered few things. So thought we are sharing today. I would like to share a few things. What I have understood, I'll just share with all my participants. So until now, I did not understand the meaning of Lakshmi, and I always related it with the implicit meaning of Lakshmi, the money, and maybe in a moderate sense, but always with the money. But now I realize that when we ask Lakshmi, then we can ask the real wealth is knowledge. Real wealth is the knowledge. Without that, you whatever you ask, it will be coming from your buddhi, which is not mature. One is that, and second, uh, after registering the course for Sanskritam, uh, although I knew, but I thought all the good deeds uh, comes from sannyasis. When I interact with them, they are the embodiment of all those values, and I thought all these good values are missing from the society. But now, after registering on these courses, when meeting with like-minded people and teachers, I realized they have they have inspired everyone. It's not only sannyasis. Now I'm more motivated after seeing all of us. And the last thing I wanted to say is, the more and more I'm getting in touch with Vedanta and Sanskritam, I realize until now I've not heard even a single word or line of hatred towards anyone, towards any religion, towards anyone, even those who have hurt us. We don't harbor those ill feelings, and the way it strengthen us, and it makes me complete. Not nurturing one side of emotion. In fact, they disrespect the emotion, leave emotion. It is comes and goes. So the way it is transforming and the way it is making me see the world differently, it's so great. And I started feeling proud that being born in this. Now I realize this knowledge is not even for me, it is for everyone, it is for entire world. So nothing to be proud of, it is for everyone, and everyone can take benefit of it. Just
Yes,
small
yes.
part I wanted to
So
share.
nice, very nice, very nice. It's available. It's available out in nature. It's only the right time to take it, partake the amrita of this knowledge. Yeah, it acts as amrita. Yeah. So now we'll go to Parmanand Mahodaya. He has written few lines on Krishna and he sang that during Ekadashi and he sent it across to me. There are few things which has to be corrected. That is fine. At this level, Sasyam is able to do that. It is really praiseworthy. Parmanand Mahodaya, can you please ping that for us?
Mahoday. Let me just. Yeah.
You have to increase your volume. I'm trying my best to increase the volume of my system, but still it doesn't work that way. You have to increase your volume.
You able to hear me now?
Yes.
So I'll start. Gopala uttishtati mrigayati janani matri matati shirajam gopa nivarayati manta janani priyati krishna sa stanapanam dadati sa gayanti yavat kalam sa smarati leela Shiram drishyati tat vatati matrishiram rakshati Krishna abhikurdhayati janani Krishna churnayati manthani saha chorayati navanita chora dhavati sa nyashatati ulukala Krishna sangshabhadayati kapi saha punayati navanita janani agachati sadrishyati manthani janani mrigayati putra Krishna samikshati amba ya Yashoda Gopala Drishyati Sa Udgachati Chora Gopala Shigram Nirgalati Gokulananda Dhavati Janani Bhajayati Krishna Sa Grihati Chita Chora Nanda Ananda Roditi Janani Vinayati Gopa Sa Vindhati Dandika Amba Ayasayati Bhanda Krishna Dandika Ati Vamana Janani Vidhayati Dandika Dhaman Dhyangala Stoka Gramina Hasa Drishyanti Yashoda Paramavismita Sa Api Hasati Kintu Stapayati Parikshaka Janani Pariklamati Krishna Chetati Janani Saha Bhaddha Uri Karoti Amba Sneha Vadati Ajita Sajjita Prema. That was the end.
Very nice. Very nice. So he has beautifully. Can you tell us the meanings also?
Yes. So Gopala wakes up. This comes from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, I believe 8th chapter. So Gopala wakes up and he searches for his mother because he's hungry. So why is he searching? Because he's hungry. What is mother doing? She is churning yogurt. So she's making ghee or makan, whatever that he likes to eat. So he goes up and he grabs the churning rod to stop it. And the mother, Yashoda, she comforts him, and she starts breastfeeding him because he knows he's hungry. That's why he's grumpy. And while she starts singing for a little while. And what is she doing while she's singing? She's remembering his own pastimes. So it is said that she was boiling milk to make something for Krishna on the stove. So I'm saying, took license that the milk sees this. And so thinking, oh, I have no service now. So it starts boiling over. Mother,
So nice.
leaving the milk to boil over, she puts Krishna back down. He hasn't finished yet. And she goes to save the milk. And this Krishna becomes very angry. He becomes angry at his mother because she left him halfway. So what does he do? He breaks the butter pot and steals some butter. And then he runs away. And then when he's out, what does he do? He sits on a mortar. There's a mortar that they were using to grind flour. So he sits on top of the mortar and he starts to call the monkeys and he starts feeding them the butter that he stole. And then mother now comes back into the room and she sees, oh, the broken pot. So, I mean, who else could break it? So she knows her son has broken it. So she starts searching for Krishna. But while Krishna is feeding the monkeys, he's looking around because he knows he's in trouble if his mother sees him. So he looks to see if mother is coming. And then Yashoda sees Gopal on the mortar, and she slowly goes up to, I said the thief, because he did become Makanchor. So he slowly goes up to the thief, but he sees her and he jumps down and he starts running away. So mother starts chasing him and she catches him. So I said the Chitta Chaura, the stealer of hearts. So she catches that stealer of hearts. And then the darling of Nanda, what does he do? He starts crying because now he's fearing that mother is going to punish him. So, and mother chastises Krishna because why? She doesn't want her son to be wayward, right? So she chastises Krishna. How is she going to chastise? So she gets a rope. She finds a rope, and what she does, she tries hard to tie Krishna to that mortar with the rope around his stomach. For this, Krishna became, I didn't say this, but for this name, Krishna is famous as Damodara, right? Daman and Udara. So he got tied around his waist. But what she finds is that the rope is too short. So she finds more rope, and the rope is too short. And so now the villagers are all seeing the commotion because they're hearing Krishna crying. So they all see, and they're all laughing to see the fun. So even Mother Yashoda, she is surprised, and she also starts smiling, but she doesn't give up. She keeps trying, and she tries very hard. So how she's trying very hard? She's sweating. Her hair, is visibly heaving. So he's trying very hard, I said. So now Krishna sees his mother's condition, and so how much she is endeavoring, but still not being successful. So, and he can never be tied because he is, and I said the rope is also two fingers too short earlier. So, I mean, philosophy wise, it was that our effort has to be there and mercy of the Lord has to be there in order to us to bind him. Otherwise, he cannot be bind. He is Swarat. The first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam says is one of his qualities, Swarat. He's completely independent. So no one can ever bind him. But it says what's wonderful is that seeing his mother's condition and her effort and her love for him, he agrees to be tied. So all of a sudden, he gets tied. And it said mother's love triumphs. And Ajita is another name for Krishna. He is unconquerable, but he is Sajjita. So he's completely conquered by what? Prema. So his mother's love completely conquered him.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We also believe that Krishna is Jnanam, is an embodiment of knowledge. And when we are talking about Shakti, we say Ichcha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Tirodhana, and Kripa Shakti. Kripa is something which we say grace. The forms of Shakti to create, to sustain, to dissolve, and to give temporary happiness, like in the form of Tirodhana. A sleep is a kind of requirement, right? It is compared to sleep. Just imagine people just running, no sleep. Sleep is a kind of withdrawing your mind, which nature has provided. We are not doing anything. So that Shakti also is Tirodhana, even to forget. You lose your loved ones, and for some time then the Shakti gives the power to forget, right? Otherwise, people would have been in so much of suffering. So that is Shakti. And Kripa Shakti. She is also Kripa, grace, which is within each one of us. So Krishna is Jnanam, the Shakti coming in the form of Jnanam, knowledge. Yashoda thinks that she is feeding Jnanam. Through her, she is an embodiment at that particular time where the Ahankara is coming up, like I am doing something. So she sees the milk overflowing, that is going towards material world, creation. Whatever we think we are doing something and we are trying to save something and we are rushing and leaving the jnanam alone. So when you go towards materialistic things, jnanam goes away from you. It goes away from you. And when you try to tie it up with your ahankara called the rope, you cannot tie it. When you use the ahankara to tie knowledge, it's not possible. You should have your effort which is surrendered to Ishvara. Then the grace flows in. Only then jnanam can be tied. Your effort which is surrendering to Ishvara. I am nothing. I am completely surrendering to you. When Yashoda surrenders with the effort itself, initially it was ahankara which was trying to tie the jnana. When you surrender it, then automatically grace flows. And when grace flows, it becomes very easy to tie up the jnanam. Jnanam itself approaches you. The jnanam approaches a person who surrenders to that Ishvara or Krishna or Shakti. So that is the one of the ways of interpreting this. Navanita also is, when milk is there, we don't know. We try to seek Bhagavan, right? Where is Bhagavan? I am not able to feel Bhagavan. There is so much of violence happening there. Where is Bhagavan? Bhagavan, where is he? I am not able to see. It's like the fish asking, where is water? Fish cannot see water. It doesn't even know. It's asking its mom every day, where is water, mama? Tell me, where is water? Mother is saying you are in water, but fish says, I don't see water anywhere. The baby fish, one day it is caught by the fisher's net. It goes up and it takes a deep, this thing, oh my God, where did I come? Then accidentally drops back into the water and it says, now I know what water is. I am in that. So when you're caught by surprise and sorrows, that is when, where is God? You take a breath. I was in so much of comfort, and now the Guru comes and lifts you up and says, oh yes, you are in that Amrita all over. So that is something which we have to remember. So this water thing is compared to, where is God, is compared to milk. You have to curd milk. Is that curd which you drop into the milk is bhakti. With that bhakti, when you drop that into milk and every day keep churning it with that bhakti, then Navanita comes. Then you become that, you get that butter. Butter is loved by Krishna means what? That is jnanam. In the ocean of samsara, put a drop of bhakti and churn it with your shraddha. It becomes knowledge. Navanita. It becomes knowledge. That is Ishvara. That is very tasty. That is why Krishna loves butter. That's very tasty. So he is an embodiment of that knowledge. Through bhakti, you get that. You have to churn it with bhakti. Bhakti is what? Completely knowing something which you keep something above yourself. Something above yourself. You look up to and you surrender. With that, you just see that churning happens, that culture that nicely creates butter in that milk of samsara. Butter is created. Jnanam comes completely separated from that water. It doesn't, then the person can be in samsara anywhere like Krishna. Samatvam yoga. Lotus. You can be untouched by samsara. This is essence of Bhagavatam also is this. Bhagavatam to inculcate that bhakti which was dying. And through bhakti, you can actually attain Ishvara, which is nothing but embodiment of knowledge. This is why Bhagavatam was given. It is purely everything around is Ishvara, Krishna. Krishna is all pervasive. That's what it's trying to say. Very good, very good. We had a good satsang today. Fantastic. Fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I'm thankful, grateful to all of you for giving your patient hearing to, what I spoke. And if knowledge with the group of people here. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic, very, very fulfilling Navaratri. We are on the second day of Navaratri. So have a very, very fulfilling Navaratri. Today's third day, I guess. Yeah. We finish Shailaputri, we finish Brahmacharini. So today is the third day. So please contemplate and let us all in this journey become more refined, loving human beings. Right? Yeah. Thank you so much. Let's do Sarve Bhavantu. Ritesh Mahodaya, can you do Sarve Bhavantu?
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Dhanyavadaha. We'll have a class on Friday if you can attend. 1 hour for Karma Padam. Okay?
Dhanyavada.
Dhanyavadaha. Punar Milama. Let me stop there.